Hello, hello. It's good to have you with us. A big welcome. So I've got my supplies out, and what I've done is I've gone and put some masking tape on the edges and around, and I'm doing that just to protect the picture so that I don't get chalk pastels all over the place. I really want to keep it neat and within the bottle. Hi Dawn, it's lovely to have you. How are you doing? I'm hoping when I take the masking tape off, it's not going to peel the paper. As far as I know, one of the ways to sort of take the stickiness off is to just put the masking tape strips onto your clothes and just pull them off a few times, and apparently that's supposed to help protect the paper so you don't tear the paper with the masking tape. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not too fussed. I mean, if anything, I just cut, what I've masked out. So I've got just normal cheap chalk pastels. These chalk pastels I bought at our local hobby craft shop. So I've already pulled out the colors I've got, but as you can see, I've got a small variety of chalks, which I actually thought was great because I don't use chalk often, so I don't really need to have a whole selection of chalk pastels. So the three colors that I've got is a light blue, a dark blue, and a green. And if I flip my page over, you can see what I've been testing. So I'm going for this sort of idea for the background. So you've got some green going into the blue with a bit of darker blue. So we'll see if it works. The worst case scenario, just take an eraser and do something else. Yeah, Dawn, I'm well. Just been a bit busy lately. But other than that, doing very well. Thank you. Hi, Val. How are you? How was your day? Okay, so what I've done with the chalk pastels, I used a crafting tool and I just scraped my chalk pastels onto a Tupperware lid so I can use a cotton bud to pick up the chalk pastels and rub it into my picture. So the idea is the green is going to be in the lightest area, the blue in the mid-tone, the light blue in the mid-tone, and then the dark blue in the edges. And I've got my eraser as well if I need to tidy up. So that's the idea I'm going for. Now up here in this section of the glass bottle, I want to show that there's a cork in there. So I'm probably going to use the cork colors into here and maybe blend some of the chalk pastels up. So that's sort of what I'm going for. Hey JC, hi B, nice to have you, big welcome. Hope you're both well. Do you have a good day, a good week? Okay, so there, I'm picking up the green with the cotton bud. You could use your finger. I'm just concerned if I use my finger, I'm going to transfer my the oil on my skin onto the paper, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to use the earbud and just in circular motions start putting down this chalk pastel. And we can go over it several times to just build up the color. So the idea is to kind of give the impression of green foliage in a blue sky. I just thought if I do brown, it will be too much brown. Hi, Colouring for Fun. It's good to have you. How are you? Yeah, I love Lisa Marie's work, especially her Glass in the Bottle series. Some just adorable pictures, and I think she even has one with a turtle in. So if you're into turtle, I know we've talked about turtles before, so that's always an option. All right, so up here I'm going to come with a little bit of green just along here. If I need to, I'll erase some of that out. And maybe a little bit in here. So I'm just going to go over this several times so that we have a rich background and not a pale one. I don't want it too pale. Yes, it is the bundle. I think it is in the bundle. You may also be able to buy the turtle page separately. I'd have to check for you though. So one of the reasons why I bought this page was giraffes always remind me of my mom. They're her favorite animal. And I guess because it was around Mother's Day that Lisa Marie was advertising her her series. So out of all the images, I was really thinking of my mom when I saw this one. So that's why I bought it. Yeah, when I've done research into pastels with as in the background, I've seen people using Q-tips, and I think when I first started adult coloring, I was on someone's channel and they mentioned it. I don't remember which channel it was. So since then I've always used a Q-tip, and apparently what it does is it also helps push the chalk pastel into the tooth of the paper, so you don't end up losing the pastel over time. It kind of just stays where it's supposed to stay. Right, so now I'm going to do the light blue. And definitely scraping it is better for your picture than going straight on with the hard block. Because if you use the hard block straight onto your paper, it just creates these awful lines, which I can show you over there. That's from taking the block straight onto the paper. So by doing the scraping bit, you're going to avoid those lines, which is just so much better. I think if you've got pan pastels, they would also work very, very well in the background. But you could make any background you like. It's the same technique. You can change the colors. It doesn't have to be these sort of colors. You know, make the page your own. Do what you like. I was just too nervous for any bright colors. Wow, 3 giraffes in a zoo. Amazing. That'd be a lot of work. Yeah, it's a tricky one, zoos. I get why we have them, you know, conservation and all of that. But it is also a case of we want animals free and in the wild. And if you go over any picture with your chalk, don't worry, it comes off really easy with just an eraser. So with the grayscale, you just want to follow the shading. The shading is going to show you where to put your midtones and your highlights and your shadows. So rule of thumb is white is your highlight, dark grey to black is your midtone, and then, no, sorry, dark to dark grey is your shadow. And then the medium grey is your midtone. So you really can just go for 3 pencils or 3 shades and you'll get a beautiful picture. And we will go in and just clean all of this up. So what have you all been coloring this week? Anything interesting or fun or therapeutic? Alright, so now I'm going to do the dark shade of blue and go into the shadows. And just following the grayscale. Ooh, mandalas. That must be fun. Do you enjoy mandalas, colouring for fun? Oh, watercolour pencils, Daisy, that sounds like fun, man. How are you getting on with them? Do you find them easy? Which do you prefer? Do you have a preference yet? I've been working on a double page spread in one of the new books I bought, it's just taking forever because I'm using pencil. And now I'm working on the background in it, and my my one pencil, it's a Prismacolor. I'll show you quickly. This is what happens. I can actually pull the core out. It's horrible. It was not doing this until this week. And I can push it all the way out to the other side. So this is very annoying because it's my lightest color for my sky. And I've got the core coming out on both ends. So I need to ask my husband if he has an idea on how I can fix this. Otherwise I'm going to have to buy a whole new pencil, and then I feel like I've wasted this pencil, and it's never happened to me before. So this was both an annoyance and an amusement this week. I think I have a couple of mandalas in some of the books I color. I haven't really gone out and bought a specific mandala book yet. But I think Maria Trolle has a couple of mandalas. Johanna Basford's got a couple of mandalas in Secret Garden. So there are a couple I could try. Yeah, you're right. You can do that with twistables. I remember that when my kids had twistables for nursery school. Very easy, and those leads would break a lot. But they were vibrant colors, so I understood why the nursery school would encourage parents to buy them for stationery. Hi, Carly. Okay, yeah, I could try hot glue. Do you think super glue could work? Yeah, Matchstick Mouse seems really, really cute. I've been watching your colorings in Matchstick Mouse, and there's a couple of other YouTube channels coloring the same books, and they seem really cute and very easy. Almost in, I suppose, similar idea to the Baby Yoda ones. Oh dear, you see, I'm busy dusting the whole page now. Okay, I'm going to try and bring in some more of that blue color. The light blue. So I think the green works. The dark blue seems to work okay. I'm not sure if I like this light blue. It seems very light. It's chalk pastels. That's what it is. But they're cheap. They're cheap chalk pastels. So I'm not expecting great quality. I might have to actually move to pencils. We'll see. Okay, I'm just gonna put that to the side for now. and just come to this base, put a bit of blue here. We can always tweak it in a minute. And then I'm going to get my kneadable eraser. Alright, so I've got my kneadable eraser. And I can just tidy this up. And for the precise things, I'll just use the electric eraser. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it looks good. I would love to try pan pastels. I think I found a place where I could get them for about £7, about $8 for one. But I don't use a lot of pastels, so I'm just nervous to buy something and then not use it. But I think I'll get there. It will just take time. And I've seen people use pan pastels for like as a base for fur and for skin, for portraits. So I'm just not sure which colors to get to start off with, because they really are expensive. Kind of like, I suppose, you know, your Copic markers and that sort of thing. It's good to know, Val, about the Faber-Castell pastels. I do have a couple of Derwent soft pastel pencils. Okay, so now I'm going to go into with my eraser, and I'm going to try and just erase all the highlighted areas of the bottle. Oh, okay, that one needed to stay. I'll just put it back. I love how forgiving pastels are. I think I will bring in some pencils though. You could use markers if you like markers. That is another option. It will work very well, I think. because you'll get quite a lot of coverage and deep pigment. Oh, B, you were asking about the Derwent eraser when it gets to the end and it not gripping. So my husband came up with a great trick. We took a bit of straw, drinking straw, cut the tube in half lengthwise because it was a bit thin, and wrapped it over the bump here so that it grips, and then you can pull out your eraser. Well, when I can get mine to work. You pull it out, wrap over the bump, stick it back in, and it holds the eraser now without it squishing down. So that was just a little DIY he did for me, because I mentioned your question to him. So that was his solution. I'm just going to turn this page. It's a bit tricky to know exactly which part of these lines was highlights. So I'm just going to so that's a bit more of a highlight. So where she's got these very white lines, we want to keep those white. You probably could even use Inktense for the background. Are you interested in Inktense at all? All right. Well, thanks, Cully. I don't think I know the Stabilo pencils. So, JC, what intimidates you about Inktense? Okay, so I decided I was going to pull out my Derwent Drawing set. Now, I've only got these 6 pencils. So I've got the Sanguine, the Burnt Ochre, the Chocolate, the White, the Black, and the Sepia. So I'm using all of them except one. I got these back in 2013. So I'm going to use these for the giraffes. And I will also use them on the cork. Okay, so for my light color, I'm going to use the brown ochre, and it's the same principles that we've been following. Now there's several ways you can do it. You could lay down your light colors first, or you can do your dark colors. So what I think I'm going to do is put the lighter color first, then I'm going to do the darker colors, and then I will end with the midtones. And I'm going to do the giraffes the exact same colors. And we're just going to follow the drawing. Okay, yeah, I understand what you mean about Inktense being permanent and not being a painter. I'm not a painter either. Um, yeah, Inktense, when you do put water on it, it is permanent, so that is a bit more concerning. You can get used to it. Oh dear, B. I'm sorry to hear that was a disaster. At least you know. So hope not always the best way, is it? So at least the rest of us can know not to use them in coloring book paper. But is it like Amazon paper? Because maybe it was just the paper and not the pencil. So what type of paper did you use? Or what type of paper was the coloring book made from? Yeah, Amazon paper, I don't know. It's an anomaly of its own. I feel for you, B. I really do. I'm sorry you had to go through that. This paper I'm using is just a cheap cardstock I found on Amazon UK. I think it's 180 GSM, so it can handle quite a lot. It is a smooth tooth though, it's not a rough tooth. I have heard with some paper you get a smooth side, and then if you turn it on the other side it is rougher. So I have heard that. I'm tempted to try the Strathmore toned paper, but then I've heard mixed things about it, so I'm a bit unsure at the moment what to do. And I don't print a lot of PDFs. Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking here. So I'm coming to Baby Giraffe here. And just going to put this light color here. We're going to build up the layers, so this isn't by any means our last bit. These are the Derwent Drawing pencils, Kali. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my darker shadows with the chocolate. And I'm going to put in the shadows. Now, what I can do for you, because I don't know what pencils everybody has, and I am aware some of you have polys. I'm very happy to, after the live stream, put into the description the color options for you for polys, and if you have a different brand of pencil that I'm not using, if I have that, I am happy to also check the equivalent colors and then put them in the description below, because I do understand how frustrating it is when you have a color along and you don't have the exact same pencils and you want to follow the video and it feels like you can't. So let me know, and if I have the sets at home, I will do that for you. So because there's a bit of texture in the giraffe, going in a bit of a up and down motion will help add a bit of texture, but you don't want to go straight across the whole thing. Fur goes in different directions, so you can do a bit of scumbling or little circles, ups and downs, diagonals, or feathering kind of strokes, and that will all help add a bit of texture to your giraffe. Now, giraffes don't really have long hair, they've got short hair. The longest part of their hair is their mane, so you don't have to really worry too much about whether or not you're going to do fur and that sort of thing. It's pretty straightforward. I'm just sharpening my pencil. One sec, I need my other sharpener. So what I find with the Derwent pencils, my electric sharpener actually works well for them because they actually fit the sensor. And then I get quite a nice point. Okay, so sorry about that. So here on the mane, you want to add a bit of a flicking motion. And you just follow the art, but you don't need to go just in straight. You can go across, because fur doesn't lie in all one direction. It lies in different directions. And you want to do short strokes. Because their fur is short. Okay, so here I'm just going to base these spots on the giraffe in this one color, and then I'm going to add a bit of depth to them with black. So I'm just going to go in circular motions, and then I'll outline them with black. Sure, Val, I'll happily get the polys for you. With pleasure. Alright, so in here is black. So I'm just going to jump in here with a bit of black because that is very dark and here is quite dark. So I want to emphasize the dark before I lose it. And then come back with my dark brown, or chocolate in this case. And you can also vary your pressure to help with the different shades as well. So lighter pressure for medium and your highlights, darker pressure where you think it's darker. And then I'm just also trying to turn my pencil every so often to help keep my points sharp. So now I'm going to do the top of the mane and just follow the lines. And then a lighter pressure just in these spots. As far as I know, they are wax, but they are, how do I put it? They're wax, they're both soft and hard. So the pigment lays down really well. You can press hard on them and they don't break. I don't think Derwent does oil pencils. As far as I know, they do wax, watercolor, and of course the ink tints. I could be mistaken, but they're not like polys where it creates wax bloom and that sort of thing. Not polys, prismas. Oh, gosh, sorry, my head. So they don't cause wax bloom, and you can layer up on them and they work really well. I prefer these to the Derwent Artists. I don't like the Derwent Artists anymore. So if you just do like a scuffling motion, you can create some texture here. Right, I think I'm going to bring in my mid-tone now, which is the Sepia. And I'm going to do a light pressure into my light tone and a darker pressure where I think the mid-tone is. And then as we build up the layers, they'll blend into each other and it will look so nice. And I don't mind going over the spots with this as well, because it will just add some color to them and then we'll darken them up. Okay, so I want a bit of brown here because I saw a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the brown ochre again, and I'm going to work on building these layers up and blending them out. Do you guys color much grayscale? I remember when I started really going into adult coloring, and I saw how much was available compared to back in 2013. And I started seeing people coloring these realistic photos, and I was totally taken aback by it. And I found out about grayscale, so I went and got Elena Lazareva. She's one of the big artists who do grayscale, and I got one of her books to play around with, and I found it quite nice because you just had to pick colors and you didn't have to worry about shading. It was all there, done for you. And in some ways, I quite liked that. It took some pressure off. Yeah, the shading, it's incredible. I mean, I'm blown away by the people who can draw grayscale and can place the shading so accurately that it's realistic. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing. So I'm going over this again with the sepia, which is like a burnt sienna, or sienna brown, actually, more of a sienna brown. I think what put me off with the grayscales that I did get was the Amazon paper. And I mean, I did some with castle arts, and the castle arts took well to it. It wasn't terrible. I mean, you could really push if you wanted the pigment. You could really push the pigment and it would work. I don't know. But then I stopped and went back to just coloring other coloring books. So what do you guys think about people like Christine Karen, Rachel Mintz, there's Mariella Budek? What do you think of those artists? All right, I'm coming in with the chocolate because I want to deepen my shadows. So now that I've placed all my colors where they're supposed to, I can carry on just building up my colors now and layering and layering and layering. And to be honest, this paper is holding up relatively well with these pencils. I mean, I'm not pressing lightly. I am doing a medium to hard pressure, and I've still got so much tooth in this paper. So I think this paper is probably suited for pencils, and the Derwent drawings are really working well on this. Oh yeah, B, I totally hear you. I think that's, is it Linda Ravenscraft? She's got beautiful grayscale. I'm just worried that the grayscale's too dark, because I don't want like black and whites. I like the light grayscale where when you color over it, it looks like you've colored it. And you don't have that gray peeping out. So here I'm just going to come in with some black, and I'm going to just start defining these dark spots a bit. I probably could have put the black down first, but it's okay. This will work. Daria Kakirosi. I don't think I've come across her. I'll go check her out. So what I'm just doing is I'm just using my black pencil and I'm redefining the beautiful drawing. And also adding more of that fur texture into this mane, just with short strokes. I just want to define these spots before I actually lose them. And sometimes with grayscale, that's just all you really need to do. It's just every now and then go in with your darkest color in your palette and just redefine the shadows so they don't get lost. We come in here and go inside here with the sepia. back over it with the chocolate, and that's just to blend out the black so it's not too black. It looks more natural. Okay, cool. I'll check her out on Etsy and on Amazon. Thank you. So sometimes you don't need to outline in black, like with these spots. There will be some areas I'll need to use black instead of brown, but because I've got a dark color against the light part of the giraffe's fur, it will automatically hold the spot shape. Right, I'm going back over with my sepia. And I'm using a light to medium pressure. I'm getting quite a bit of pigment down now, so it will blend quite well. So here I'm just going to try the white. But I will go over this again with the, what's it called? The brown ochre. Clean your white every so often. And I purposefully wanted the white because I don't want the skin to be a vibrant yellow. I want it to be a like sandy yellow. So in Prismacolors you have that sand pencil. So I'm going for a bit of that color. Just clean it off every so often. Otherwise you get these scratches in your inside and it just yuck. And I'm scratching on the masking tape, so don't worry. You can just grab a piece of paper on the side and just wipe your white pencil down. Thank you, B. I appreciate that. I was hoping maybe we'll finish it in today. I don't know. But the thing is, grayscale really is this easy. It's not really difficult at all. I mean, the grayscale I found much more time consuming were the grayscale portraits I tried to do. But this one's actually it's a really beautiful to color. I'm really enjoying how simple it is. I'm going to have to do more of her Lisa Marie's work because it's really beautiful. So because the brown ochre is my lightest color, I can also use it to blend in into my midtones and blend everything out. So here I need a chocolate, this part of the eye. Okay, so I'm quite liking this. Let's add a bit more of the sepia. So I think I mentioned in one of my recent videos, when you think a picture is done, add a layer or two more. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I can see it looks done. I could call it done now and move on to the baby giraffe. But I'm just busy touching up a bit more because it will just deepen the color, the tone, and that's how you deepen up your tonal values, is just adding one or two more layers extra for good measure. Okay, here it's got a very wayward line there. A bit of a line there. Okay, now with the black, just again going over my deep shadows. Make sure these spots don't get lost. The chocolate, just to go over the edges so that we don't lose them. And black back in the main. And then your chocolate here. Hi Emily, it's lovely to have you. How are you? Okay, I think I'm going to leave Mama Giraffe and move on to Baby Giraffe. So I'm just going to use the black to deepen up some of these shadows here. Oh, feel better soon, Emily. I'm sorry to hear that you've been poorly. Oh, that's not fun. I hope you feel better very soon. Okay, so let me see. I want chocolate because I need a bit here. But I think most of this now is going to be the sepia. Okay, so we're going to use sepia and block this out now. So I am going to go into my lightest color a little bit just to help with the blending. And into these dark spots. Hi Robin, welcome. It's lovely to have you. Okay, now I'm going to come in with chocolate and just deepen up these spots so I don't lose them. Is anybody interested in colouring dragons for Smaugfest? I see Monarch Events is hosting Smaugfest this month, and some very lovely dragon pictures are being promoted for Smaugfest. Okay, now I'm going to come back with the brown ochre. Oh, I can understand, Robin, why your partner was grossed out. And I can also understand why it would take a few moments to register. I don't think I would have registered either. Oh. Do you do much work with pastels, Robin? Oh, awesome, Robin. That's cool. Okay, I'm back in with the sepia. So, Val, Smaugfest is an event hosted by a group of colorists. I think certain artists get asked to color in illustrations and host them as lives on their YouTube channels. And then there are a certain number of illustrators who will design a picture for the event. Now, this could be an event for dragons, it could be any coloring event that they choose to host. So for August, it is called Smaugfest, I think, possibly after the dragon in Lord of the Rings, I think, maybe. Anyway, and it's apparently the month of August, and they do dragon pictures and dragon YouTube live streams and that sort of thing. So it's a promotion for artists and illustrators, and then people who are interested in coloring along go to whichever page they like. They buy the page, they find the YouTube channel that's coloring it in and color along with it, or just color it on their own, and then promote it on Instagram, Facebook, those sort of things, and I think even on YouTube. So if you go to Facebook, and I think it's called Monarch Events Coloring, I'll have to check the actual name, but it is Monarch Events. And you go to their post, you will see it advertised there, and all the links to the dragon pages available to buy will be in the comments section. They did one for Mermaid as well, so it's not every month they do one. I think it's just specific times of the year. Okay, now I'm going to do the chocolate. Short strokes for the mane. Val, when I read your comment, I read dog nose coloring and I got so confused for a moment. Yes, the dog rose. No, I haven't started August, but I have picked it out, and it will be with bindweed, honeysuckle, and there's another plant in it, and I thought that would be quite pretty, and it's a double spread. So I'm expecting that to probably be about 3 videos, and I need to start filming it soon so that those of you who are wanting to color in Layla Dooley's The Flower Year with me, you can have it ready as well for August. So I've got the boys on school holiday soon, and I'm hoping that will give me a bit more time to do some videos in between playing games with them, taking them out to see their friends or to the beach. So yeah, that's gonna come very soon, and I am going to be doing a color along in Fragile World. I will be using Inktense pencils for the background and Prismacolors for the rest of the page. And the page I'm doing in Fragile World is the axolotls. And I had a cute discovery with that because my kids have been interested in How to Train Your Dragon series since my eldest was 4 years old. So I've watched all the movies, I've watched all the series available. I've done birthday parties with How to Train Your Dragon. I've done the whole thing. It's probably as big in our house as superheroes. So I'm very excited to color that page, and I'm itching to get started. So if you want to have some safe practice with Inktense, come and join me. I can quickly get it for you. One moment, and I'll show you. Okay, so it is this page. I'm going to just zoom you out so you can see it a bit better. So these are axolotls. They're a type of salamander, and they are, I think they're endangered. You normally find them as pets. I wouldn't say it's a common pet, but people do keep them as pets. So I'm going to base everything except 2 of the axolotls in Inktense, and I'm going to go over it with Polychromos, and I'm going to do the very distant fish as silhouettes. And I've planned it all out over here. So there's my plan, and I've got down all the pencils I'm going to use for both Inktense and Prismacolors, but I will also include the Polychromos options in the description when I do these. So I can't wait to do this one. So yeah, hoping this weekend. Robin, I don't think anyone needs to have kids to watch How to Train Your Dragon. They're just brilliant. Yeah, JC, come and join me. It will be fun. And the best part is, if I mess up the Inktense, I can always tell you before you get there, or I just won't edit it. I'll just chop it out of the video out of sheer embarrassment. So yeah, it will be a safe place to experiment with Inktense, and you won't have to worry too much about the colors, because like I said, I've planned them all out, picked them all out, and it will work. I think it will look really, really nice. Another way to I started with Inktense was Magical City by Lizzie Mary Cullen, and I used a color along by Peter Hewitt, and she does amazing work with Inktense, and that just built my confidence up a little bit to experiment with them. And I'm still such a novice, but it really did help to just have someone guide me through it. Alright, I'm going to use my white pencil just to soften up baby giraffe and get frustrated as I pick up the black. But we'll go over it. I want her to have a really soft nose. Bye, JC. Have a good time with your mom. I will go and check Kirsty Color and Sketch Val and have a look at what she did. I do enjoy watching other people's or just seeing their finished work. It's very inspiring. Okay, now I'm coming back in with the brown ochre. A bit of white here with this ear. So what do you all like to color in during the autumn? Are you seasonal colorists? Okay, well, that's good to know. Is it just the style of them that you don't like? What is it about the Christmas pictures you don't like, Val? That is, if it's okay to ask. Oh, fair enough, Val. Christmas isn't for everyone. Yeah, I also color what I feel like. Although I do like it when autumn comes to color autumn pictures in autumn. So I'll probably do stuff like Teresa Goodridge's, I think it's Autumn Charms. Right, I want a bit more sepia. I hear you about Christmas, Val. My husband isn't a Christmas fan either. He does Christmas just for me because I love Christmas. Last year I did Elf on the Shelf and had such a blast. 24 days of coming up with practical jokes, and some of them worked really well and some of them weren't so great, but it was fun. And I love all the Christmas lights, and yeah, I'm a Christmas girl. I'll take Christmas over every other season, you know, holiday season. Right, I think I'm going to do a bit more chocolate. My light is creating quite a glare on this page, so I'm struggling to see whether I need more on the baby giraffe or if he's done. So what I suggest, because I'm struggling to see, when you get to this point in your picture, if you feel you're happy with how it is, then absolutely just call it and move on to the next section. I think what I'm going to do is just check how this whole page looks like tomorrow in daylight, and if I need to tweak it, I'll tweak it, which will just be adding more layers. So if you're not happy with the way yours has turned out at this point, just add more layers until you are happy. And then, yeah, we can move on to maybe do a bit of the cork. We could do the eyes. So a bit of the brown ochre in the eye and some sepia and dark chocolate, and then with the black just color around the white of the eye. So I'm just layering a dark layer and a light layer. And then you could take a ooh, Robin, you're gonna love the ink tints. They are super fun. So this is just a Sakura jelly roll in the whites of the eye. You can put a little bit of black in here and then go over it with the white, and it will create a gray. And then chocolate here. Then I'm a bit confused with this eye. Black in the middle. I'm just going to check how to do this eye quickly, because I'm worried that I'm missing something. So I'm actually going to go to Lisa Marie's page where she did her version. just so I can see her picture. And I want to do this just to make sure I'm getting the eye correct. Just bear with me a moment. Okay, so it looks like we need a little bit of white above here. So kind of like that. And then the brown ochre here. And I'll put in a bit of the sepia red. And a bit of white. When in doubt, just check. You could even do a touch of green in the eye and it will work as well. Good gracious, Robin, that's really, really hot. Wow. Okay. Right, I'm going to move into the cork now. So I'm going to just zoom you in and pull this down. Okay, so I'm going to use similar colors. So I'm using the brown ochre. I've never colored a corkscrew or cork, what's it? A cork, yeah. I've never colored one of these before, so this is all new. Okay, now I'm going to come in with a bit of Sanguine. I just need to sharpen this quickly. Sorry for the noise. Okay, there we go. Sorry about all that noise. And the glass is going to pick up some of the color as well, so we want to just add a bit of that in. Oh, thank you, Kali. I really appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to use some chocolate now. Would anybody mind if I try and finish this? And if I just add a little bit of, I don't know, maybe another 15-20 minutes, max half an hour. If you'd rather not, I don't mind. I'm happy to stop here and pick it up next week. What would work for you? Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate that. So then I'll try and finish this one. So I'm going to take this dark chocolate into the glass. So I haven't done a lot of bottles either, which is one of the other reasons why I really wanted to try this page, because I figured with it being grayscale, it will help me learn bottles a bit more because it's guided, and then, you know, I'm kind of taking the route of muscle memory. So if I do this enough with some help, in theory, after a while I should be able to remember more or less where to put shadows in glassware. Okay, now I'm going to go over with the sepia red. Because I don't want it too red. I still want it to look like wood. Okay, so back over it with brown ochre. Okay, so I need a bit of white here because this part of the drawing was quite light. So I'm going to use my white as a blender and blend this out of it. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in that Sanguine again. And I'm still just following the grayscale. The brown ochre. So I can definitely see these are wax pencils because they pick up dirt quickly and they can smear it. Whereas with the oil pencils, they stay where you put them. I have done a tutorial on a sunset, and I have done a Neocolor to galaxy background tutorial. It was over 2 parts in a color along, but if you would prefer just one video, I am happy to do that again. I enjoy the galaxy backgrounds. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the, no, not the sepia red, I want some of that chocolate. Okay, yes, I will put that on my to-do list and I will do another one for you. Are there any specific colors in the galaxy background that you would like to see? I've done before in a bit of reds and blues and greens, but I mean, if there are any different colors you would like, I can try those. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this cork is I'm actually going to take my Derwent blender pencil and I'm going to blend that all up. So I'm just going to scratch this off because it's very dirty. Okay, so now I'm going to just blend this out in small circles with a hard pressure. And I'm not really going to go into all of it, I'm just going in some of the areas. And here in this part of the bottle, I want the cork to be more colors reflecting in the glass than very defined. So I'm going to try and smooth this out and into the background. And then I'm just clean it up a little bit so I can blend into the chalk pastel a bit smoother. Okay, and then to tidy it up, I'm going to take the black pencil and just add that into my darker spots. Purple, pinks and blues. Okay, I can do that for you with pleasure. white, and then I'm just going to sharpen my white pencil. And I'm going to come in and just bring in some white highlights here. I pressed too hard. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to grab some Polychromos and I'm going to just work on that background in the jar because I want to just define it a bit more. So I'm gonna go for a cobalt blue greenish. So that's a 144 in Polychromos. And just do up this background a bit. Actually going to get some helio blue reddish for this very dark section here. And I'm going to leave the white parts of the bottle white, and I'm just going to work on the grey sections. And then swap over to the cobalt blue greenish. And then I'll come out in a very light pressure and try and blend into the chalk pastel background. Because I don't want to undo what I've done. It's just along the edge here, it just needs a bit more blue. So then your helio blue reddish, go on here. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna zoom out. Sorry about that. I only just realized. Okay, so I'm swapping between cobalt blue greenish and the helio red, and I'm just trying to define the sections in the glass. And I think that this is making a world of difference. So right now I'm just using that helio blue reddish. Okay, I'm going to swap over to the cobalt blue greenish. All right, then the helio blue reddish here. Val, yes, I am happy to do the turtle one with you in one of the lives. Very happy to do that. Robin and Collie, do you have any suggestions for color along you'd like in one of the lives? Okay, then I'm going the cobalt blue greenish and we are almost done. I'm going to bring in some light green. I just need a bit more cobalt green, cobalt blue greenish here. So I just want to pick up the green highlight in the middle of the jar, just so it ties in. And then I want some helio blue here. And some light cobalt turquoise along here. And then I want the helio blue red here along this line here. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a black pencil, not quite yet, sorry, helio blue reddish along this line here. Up here a bit more. And then I tell you what, we'll use a dark indigo. Oh, cool. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I was kind of going for that savanna look for the background. Because so I'm using a dark indigo, and I'm just going to outline the edge of the bottle in dark indigo. So the green was to symbolize, you know, the savanna, the acacia trees that the giraffes actually like to eat, and then the blue for the sky, because Africa, you have the most exquisite sunsets in Africa, but I just felt with the coloring of the giraffes, I didn't want to lose the giraffes with red and orange, because their fur has got those brown tones in them and those orange and yellow undertones. So I thought, well, if I go green, it will kind of resemble the idea of trees, and then you've got the blue sky. They're such gentle and beautiful creatures. And in South Africa, where we stayed and lived, we had a lion park nearby, so massive grounds for lion conservation and study. And they also had some resident giraffes, and you could actually pay and feed the giraffes. And they have these long purpley gray tongues, and they just nuzzle your hand and you feed them these pellet type foods, so all safe and good for them. And they were just such a pleasant experience. But they were free to roam, so they weren't like stuck in cages or anything like that. Okay, there we have it. Other than maybe a few tweaks in the morning when I look at the giraffes, I think we are done. I'm very, very pleased with how this looks. I'm just going to take some light green up here. Just try and blend this in a bit more. And down here. So if you don't want to use chalk pastels, you can use the light green and the light cobalt turquoise and the other two blues I used, and it will work quite well for the background. You could do the same effect. But I don't want to fiddle too much with it and get it streaky. Right, there we go. We did a coloring page in a night. Yay! It's actually a record. So thanks everyone. Thanks for sticking with me and letting me finish the page in one live stream. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to take this masking tape off and hope I haven't ruined it, which I have. Oh my goodness. So I might have to cut it out. I might make it into a bit of a postcard and send it to my mum. But my hands are like all dirty and smudgy. So I'm using my kneadable eraser and just trying to clean this up a bit. Looks like I didn't put enough masking tape on. That's one of the reasons I don't do chalk pastels or oil pastels. And even charcoal, it's just the mess it makes. I think I need to work out how much more to unsticky masking tape. Okay, never mind. Live and learn. Right, don't do masking tape unless you know how to really unsticky it. Maybe use like a plain washi tape instead. Yuck. Great. Thanks everyone. No, Robin, I haven't used drafting dry cleaning pad. I've only used the kneadable eraser. Bye Val, have a great weekend. Well done B for doing the giraffes. I thought masking tape was the same thing as painter's tape. Are they the same thing or are they different, Carly? Oh, okay. I'll have a look around for it and see what I can find. Thank you, I appreciate that. All right, I will have a think for next week's live video. I've got a couple of suggestions, and I'll have a think, and then I'll post it in the community posts, and I will see you there or in one of my other videos, and I will get to that galaxy background and some of those other coloring alongs that I was planning on doing. So thanks for joining, Robin, Carly, and everyone else who's watching. I really appreciate chatting with you. It's always fun, and actually I really enjoy just relaxing and unwinding with you all. So have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.